Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're making a really interesting review about a musical project that kind of introduced me to the entire synthwave genre, along with some other projects that I've been listening starting September of last year. And we're talking about Midnight Danger and the most recent album that was released by this project called Malignant Force. Okay, so how did I end up listening to this type of music and to this project? Well, I think it was probably early September, or I'm not entirely certain, around September anyway, of last year. I was chatting with one of my Facebook friends from Texas, and he sent me an anime music video for a song by another project which is called Perturbator. I'm not entirely certain how you should pronounce that name. In any case, the YouTube recommendation list actually had Midnight Danger, probably the next or third video, one of their songs, which is either Shadows or Adrenaline Burst. And after listening to that song, I was really hooked, and I looked for the entirety of the Malignant Force album, and I just listened the crap out of it. I just listened to it a really large number of times, and I'm still listening to it right now, and I still enjoy it, which is really cool. Okay, so who are these guys, or who is this guy? His name is Chris Young. He also plays in a hard rock band, as far as I know. He's from Sweden, and this is his solo project. A solo project which is basically entirely fixated on this entire synthwave trend or genre. And what I find interesting about synthwave in general, and about this music and the people that are writing this music, is that there is quite a lot of overlap between the world of heavy metal and of rock with the world of electronic music to create something that is so unique. It's quite a lot of a throwback to the 80s or the early 90s, with a lot of those synth effects that you probably would hear in a John Carpenter movie. And John Carpenter horror movies are actually quite a lot of often referenced in these types of works. There's also fixation on cyberpunk, on Blade Runner, on a lot of early 90s or 80s anime, Japanese anime. And of course, as you can see, the aesthetics are also present in the album cover. We have this nice lady over here who is screaming her heart out because she saw something that is really terrifying. I'm not entirely sure what. Maybe the guy from Nightmare on Elm Street, or maybe it's Arnold Schwarzenegger being the Terminator trying to kill Sarah Connor. In any case, these are the type of themes that you would see very often. And the aesthetics are also very reminiscent of movies from that period. The entire urban hellscape, the entire city that is suffocating you and is eating up almost everything. Also very interesting cover, pretty nice, I would say. Alright, moving on to the music. We got almost 60 minutes of music. We got 11 tracks, and all of them probably have a similar pattern that is going on here. We're talking about pounding mid-tempo rhythms, which are basically played by an electronic drum. Guess what? A lot of synths, a lot of these effects that you would hear back in the 80s as well, a lot of those synthesizer effects. And of course, what I find really interesting about Midnight Danger is that Chris Young doesn't shy away from using some hearty guitar riffs, some power chords here and there, some really epic solos, and I really like the way that we got this mix of electronic music and the more hard rock and heavy metal aspects, which make this album actually really enjoyable. The type of album that you can actually listen, you can dance to it all night, and you can also headbang to it. And it also works really well if you're driving in the middle of the night in a rainstorm, and you're just listening to these songs and just like feeling, yeah, I'm really pumped. Anyway, I think it's a really strong album. what I really enjoyed is probably the first part of the album. Is definitely, in my opinion, the strongest. It's up until the song Malignant Force, which actually is the title track of the album as well. Up until then, you have like a hit after hit after hit. The songs are so catchy. They have this poppy element, but they also have that kind of edge that makes it even more interesting. The later part of the album, it's still really strong, but not as powerful and as memorable as the first part. In any case, I would recommend the hell out of this project and out of this album in particular. And what can I say? It's been quite a discovering this type of music, this synthwave music, and for me, at least, this album, Malignant Force by Midnight Danger, was one of its gateways. I'll probably talk about some of the other albums that I've really enjoyed from acts such as Perturbator or Dynatron or Scandroid, or who knows, maybe even Dance with the Dead. They're also very popular. But I sometimes find myself coming back to this album probably a tad bit more often than the others. In any case, tell me what you think about it. Did you like it? Did you hate it? Is it the first time you're listening to Synthwave? Is it the first time you're listening to Midnight Danger? Please leave a comment, and I'll be seeing you guys soon with another review. As soon as possible. Fucking metal and Synthwave, because they both rock.